Okay, so we're going to send some men into Nazi Germany to retrieve some stolen art in World War II. Who are we going to send? Let's send the American, the artist, Peter Venkman from the Ghostbusters, the Babe, Jason Bourne, Galadriel from Lord of the Rings, and Bob Balaban. Men, directed and starring George Clooney. This movie was also written by him and Grant Heslov. And this movie is about the remarkable true story of art experts that were recruited by the military to retrieve stolen art that the Nazis took during the time of World War II. And this movie is good, although it's not as good as I would hope it would be, which is probably why it was moved to February instead of put in last December. Obviously, they realized that this movie was not worth trying out for an Oscar contender because it was really not good enough to get Oscar nominations. But it is a good movie. This movie has some great acting from George Clooney, Matt Damon, Bill Murray, John Goodman, Cate Blanchett, Jean Dujardin, Bob Balaban, and Hugh Bonneville. The problem with this movie is that the majority of these actors are really playing versions of themselves. With the exception of Cate Blanchett. Cate Blanchett is the only one there that really feels like she's playing a real character because she got that French accent there. The rest feel like they're playing like generic versions of themselves, or they're doing silly things like John Goodman's playing around with his helmet, or there's a funny scene where they go to the dentist, which really feels out of place. And Matt Damon spends most of the time with Cate Blanchett. They're flirting together. That was a pretty good scene, but it really just felt kind of generic for him to do. Jean Dujardin, he's really good in this movie. I really did like him. He was very charming in this movie and really playing it as his role as best he could. And this movie did have a lot of good comedy, and the acting is very good. It's just not written very well. But I really did like it, and I could tell that George Clooney really did have a lot of respect for the Monuments Men story. So I'm going to give this movie a B-, and that's all I got to say about Monuments Men.